do that.
So, okay, so tonight, one of the reasons that I'm doing all of these is I've had some universal guidance, for lack of a better way of phrasing it, in order to work helping people to discover the many different types of healing modalities that are out there. Of course, I do medicine work, as does Hans, and various people. We know a lot that do that. But right now, because of the fact that there are so many not so positive energies in the collective, it's really bearing down on a lot of people. So uh, my guidance has been to work getting out information to help people going forward, because there are a lot of people who do medicine work with the combo or the the mushrooms, the psilocybin, et cetera and so on. There's a whole list of them. But unfortunately, as beautiful as that all is, that the higher percentage of the collective won't, can't, whatever the reasons, they won't be doing the medicine work. So this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to get it out there. Sorry, rephrase. I'm not trying. I am getting it out there to many so that they can see what is available to them on all levels in order to move forward, however that looks, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, to move forward with finding that person and that service that resonates. Hans and I met. It's been a little over a year ago, I guess. Hans, it was like October last year,
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Last year.
when you first
Yeah.
came,
Yep. Yep.
right? So Hans was guided to me to come. I was holding a combo, or he reached out to me to do combo. We did a one-on-one. Of course, we did several other ceremonies following that, but it wasn't very long. In fact, it was like within the first session, I think we both kind of noticed there was something a little different about our connection.
Mm-hmm.
By the second time he'd come to me for some work, definitively we were both getting like the telepathy message that we got with the rectangle across the forehead. There were so many things going on. In any event, so going forward, the two of us have gotten to realize that there is a past life connection, and um, there's a lot of stuff that we're doing on our own, but there's going to be a lot of stuff we're doing together, which will come out further down the road. Hans has only been here in Canada for about 4 years. Um, Here we go. I'm going to say it properly. Mauritius. Did I do it?
Right. You got it right.
Block. I don't know what it is about that word. It's not a difficult word, but I want to say Mauritius or I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It's crazy. Anyways, so which is what, a small island just off of South Africa, correct?
That's right.
I know that. So he's been here for about 4 years, and he has a lot of schooling and education. So he has a background in biotechnology, sustainable development, dynamics of poverty, livelihoods of vulnerable communities, so on and so forth. So he's got some extensive education. So going forward, Hans, why don't you pick it up from there? You can kind of fill us in who you are, what you do, your
Sure.
journey, how you got here.
Yeah. 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 So oh, come on. Now she wants to talk, right?
Ignore it.
Crazy. So yeah, basically, I come from Mauritius, small island in the Indian Ocean, right? It's been practically 4 years that I'm here, and I was guided to come here somehow. So I came for a PhD. They're both communicating.
Now they're my bird and your bird are going to
Right.
talk. You
Yeah.
know that,
So
right?
so basically, I came for a PhD, and then I before coming here, I had like a vision of me crossing some kind of bar, and it was like um, I was seeing people like in a spiritual arena, if it makes sense, and I still have that vision in my head, and I was like, okay, so I guess I need to move somewhere, but I didn't know where, right? And then just out of the blue, I got scholarships. I didn't even apply for these scholarships, tell you frankly, but I got them somehow. and and I took it as a sign, tapping into my intuition more and more. And yeah, so that's why and when I came here. And um and then started the triggers, really. you know um I started to have like kind of a lot of hardships, my way coming my way each time. um Lost my job. The scholar, like, I had half of a scholarship from the young African leaders, and that was okay. But then at school, it was not doing great. People not doing their job. My coordinator went away just like that. And so yeah, that these kinds of hardship, really. And it was not really helping out, but I took it as a sign, again, another sign to redirect myself, right? And then yeah, I started communicating with nature more. Like with the moon, for example. I was talking to the moon, and about my frustration and stuff like that. And then soon afterwards, I started to have like vivid dreams. When you get these kind of dreams, you know how it is, right? It's not a dream, it's you exploring something somewhere, right? So yeah. But these things, I was associating these things now, like within the chaos, I was finding the patterns, and I was finding shape and form. And it took me like 2 years to become, to have a kind of perception, let's say, and then during that year, I got harsh triggers, heartbreak and blah blah blah, the usual triggers, to boost yourself, to boost your evolution, right? We choose these things, right? So yeah. After that, I got to meet awesome people in the CE5 community. This is amazing. So basically, it's just like meditating to connect with your ET friends, right? So we got to do that for like 6 months, and just yeah. As soon as we started, I connected straight away with people from Cyrus B. They told me, okay, so we will be four, and we will be appearing in front of you guys. Fair enough. During that night, there were four ships, and they kept appearing. Like it happened like 2 3 times, something like that. But each time they were changing conformation. You know, so that was the first time, and then I got better maybe at meditating, trusting myself, maybe, and yeah. The last one was amazing. Um, I had my first telepathic download and message, and it was clearly these people, and they told me who they were, about the ships and everything. It was crazy. So basically, it's a council. It's the Pleiadian Andromedan Council. Basically, these are Andromedan people, um, using Pleiadian ships to come on Earth, and then to raise awareness. So when I hear people telling how important first contact is, that we are waiting for the government and whatnot to induce first contact, it's a red flag to me. We are doing the first contact thing right now. It's happening all across the world. And I was pessimistic because they look like flares, they look like sunsets and whatnot, but there's no sunset at 10 p.m., right? And then there's no like three sunsets at 10 p.m. Come on, right?
Is
So
that the
they were
video that
massive
you is
orbs.
that the video? Sorry for interrupting, but that's the video that you posted on YouTube, is it not?
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Which
yeah,
was
exactly.
beautiful. We may include that link. People can see that. Yeah,
Or
it was
yeah, so
amazing.
basically there were like three orbs, massive orbs disappearing and reappearing, you know? Yeah. But this is the time that I've received that kind of it was not brutal, but it was very uncomfortable to have that kind of telepathy. My whole body started to shake, it was vibrating, and then I just got some stuff inside my brain. Boom, you know? It's
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. But soon after that, then I met you. I started to feel more comfortable with myself, with my Akashic records and stuff like that, right? So yeah, I took my time, but it was really, really fast. If we take it in human time, it was really, really fast. And then I got to meet you, and then we started to talk about everything else, energy, shamanism, and everything else, right? And then I kept on improving myself, my intuition. Uh, yeah, basically after some sessions with you, right? We were exploring. So what could we do? And I was curious about things, right? And we did that. And after meeting Source, etc., etc., right? Things made sense. It was making sense. It took time, but gradually, yes, it was making sense at the end of the day. But still, what I got to see, not a lot of people got to see that, and I wanted desperately to cross verifying. What I saw, is it the truth? Yeah. So basically, I didn't get any kind of cross confirmation like soon after what we were doing. What I saw or whatever. It took time. It took a lot of time, and that was I had to deal with my ego first, right? Well, one of the facets of my ego, right? Because you have so many facets, right? So that's why I always wanted to. I felt good about myself because I was starting to understand myself, and that's what and when I said to myself, I really want to help others to see themselves, but using a customized version of looking within. Introspection is something kind of general, if it makes sense, but at the same time, you need to customize it to suit yourself. And this is why, and when I said, you know what, if I did it by myself, a guy who comes from a scientific background, if I did it, well, why not others? And again, synchronization, synchronicity, right? And everything else.
Validation and confirmation.
Right. Yeah. Like for example, I told you, well, maybe I might do combo training. And soon afterwards, just as I mentioned that to you, 2 days afterwards, I didn't know where the money, would be coming from, right? I got a bonus. You know what I mean? So 2 days after we were talking, I got a bonus out of nowhere. So yeah, these things and your intuition will tell you, yes, this is the manifestation that you have been doing, and you are meant to do this thing now.
Well,
So
I think we had that conversation
right,
either after the first or the second session we had, and I told you I see what you're going to be doing.
yeah, and I was like, maybe I have no clue, you know.
I said, sit with it; it'll come.
Yeah, right.
I do recall that very well.
Exactly, exactly. But then at the same time, yes, again in human time, it is still going really, really fast right now. I started doing scanning, energetic scanning. It's called the body code and heart wall charts. So basically, you just need to scan yourself. As you know, feelings, trapped emotions, and everything are energetic imprints. And well, feelings and trapped emotions are trapped where? Within organs in the body, right? But the nice thing is, as soon as you become conscious of it, it becomes electromagnetic. So as soon as there is a bridge between your consciousness and your subconsciousness, you can instantly heal yourself, including past lives. But you need to be able to identify these things. And I was so fascinated with these things, right? So um, I taught myself about the heart wall chart and the body code. And yeah, I was super fascinated with this. And then this thing led me to QHHT, which is basically you vibrating to a very specific wavelength to get inside yourself and to communicate with your higher self.
Well, that's what before you get into that, that was I was actually going to talk about as you go into that, just the fact that at some point you did open up to, like the channeling and the connections, which even since I've met you has, you know,
Well,
grown up.
I would try to be more humble with it because at the beginning I was not really knowing what I was doing, frankly. Still now it is all new to me. I am still understanding.
Mhm.
Okay, so how come I can tap into people's field just like I don't even know someone, and if you show me a picture of someone, boom, I know. I just know. I it's crazy. I would have dreams of people that I don't even know that they would be calling for help, right? And I would reach to people who would know these people, and they would tell me, "Yeah, she was feeling bad. How did you know?" I'm like, "I have no clue, man. I just know that I need to check on her, that I need to go and tell her that I love her, and that I need to hug her, and everything should be good." You know, have faith in yourself and stuff like that. The angels are with you. I've been dreaming of all these things, like angels would come, and then they would be singing and hugging everyone. It's so powerful. I woke up at 3 a.m. one day. I'm like, I need to let these people know what's happening, even if I don't know what's happening really. Yeah. So it was kind of confusing, but then now I'm grounding myself more and more, and
Well,
I acknowledge.
it's funny because I know, even since we met until now, it's so funny because as most people know, getting our own answers is not always an easy. We get messages, we see visions and everything, and then you go, I don't get it.
That's right.
So it's been interesting with our connection how that's gone because, it's
Yes.
one of those things where, I'm connecting with these different spiritual entities and these things are happening, things are going on.
Yeah.
And the first thing I'm going, okay, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Call Hans.
Yeah.
And then we'll be talking and you'll be having, well, I'm not sure about this. And I'll go,
Yeah.
this is it. This is what I'm getting. This is what you need. So it's been interesting between the two of us with the channeling connections and whatnot.
Yeah.
How it's been. We kind of have been able to assist each other with things that we don't always see clearly, right? So that's been kind of fun.
Clearly, you need help. You need support. So, the message to people, if they are here right now, is seek out for help. You're
Yeah.
not alone. And I felt how lonely I was when I think I told you about that story about the vaccine, right? So
Yeah. That's when you
somehow,
first came to me. Actually, we
you know,
removed those remnants.
yeah. So like a being came into my dream, right? And then he said to me, "Would you mind taking part in an experiment?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" but I was the only one in my immediate surrounding who got that kind of message. And everyone in, you know how the spiritual community is, some are still in spiritual ego and whatnot, but we are not here to judge, right? But these people told me, are you crazy? You're going to have that vaccine? And they were like, no, it's going to
Okay.
prevent you from your spiritual awakenings and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? That being seemed nice to me, and fair enough, I'm going to do it. And the synchronicity of stuff is just amazing, the vaccine came. Had I was undergoing an experimentation. They were doing an experiment on me. But to cut it short, what I wanted to say is really, when you are undergoing something like this, for example, where your tribe or your immediate surrounding does not understand, still reach out to people. You ultimately you will find someone who would understand you, and you wouldn't feel that kind of lonely, because each and every one here is different. Your awakening would be different from mine, your experience will be different, so
Yeah.
we
So
have
that,
to
I mean,
support each
and
other.
then again, that was kind of our humble beginnings, was when all that was playing out. It was quite interesting.
Right.
So we were talking about um, the different. You started getting into the different modalities. I mean, going forward, I know you and I, we've got retreats planned, booked actually, places booked on Manitoulin.
Hmm.
Rose and I, we do our stuff, but of course she's in and out of country right now. So you and I are also going to keep doing what we're doing together. So we have a bunch of things going on, which we'll keep everybody apprised of as it happens. We've got a handful of things. Um, so yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Um, Now going forward, before we get into the different modalities that you do cover,
Hmm.
in your opinion, what is it that you think? How do I word this? With the services that you provide? Um, how is it you think that you can best help people to move forward right now, given that as we've talked about, the energy is the light and the dark right now, and we're trying to get it.
Hmm.
We're working on that as a
Hmm.
collective of people that do healing, light workers, medicine people, shamans, etc., and so on.
Hmm.
We're all working diligently to, whether it's one-on-one in groups, however that looks, in order to bring these energies back into place, you know, however. So with the stuff that you do, how is that looking going forward?
So it's kind of very simple, in fact. um I can tap into someone's energetic field, and it is a very intimate and very specific connection, right? So I would ask the permission first. If someone is coming towards my way, I would ask permission to tap into the field, right? And then I would just start getting images, visions and flashes, and I would tell the person, for example, like someone would call me, and I'm like, "Do you want me to tap into your field to see what kind of healing you would need?" And basically, it all start from that point where, depending on the need of a person, then I will see how to go about it. And the tools that I use are basically energetic tools, right? Meaning the body code charts, right? The hot old chart. And then I would try to input the quantum healing in within that frame also, and to have some kind of energetic shift in order for the person to have the shift within the higher realms, and ultimately this person will feel and see it in this realm. So you need to be able to induce the connection of that person within. And this is exactly what I do. So I am a mediator so that that person can build the bridge between his, her consciousness and the subconsciousness. Because at the end of the day, I don't consider myself as a healer. I help, I support people to heal themselves. We all can heal ourselves, but we need some guidance. We still need it because I came to you because I needed help. I don't really know how to go about it. If you get the techniques and then you understand how to use the techniques and the tools, then you can induce healing. It's just like prayers. I mean, a prayer can be healing, but how much energy, how much conviction you have in order for yourself to induce that shift in energy. It's all about vibration, it's all about energetic fields playing here and there. And the cool thing about us being into the 3D is we can play with matter. We do. We can. We can. But you need to understand how to do it first. So, I can be happy where I am today, but
Right.
if I have the right perspective, right? So, as soon as you get a shift in perspective, you change your life instantly.
Well, and you made a very good point at first that what it boils down to is we're the conduits, however that looks, for
Yeah.
the guidance and the assistance that somebody would need. But in essence, um, people need to realize that when it comes right down to it, between the intention and the work that they do, they're self healing. It's we're there to do everything we can to help them to do what it is that the goal they want to
Yeah.
reach, whatever that looks like. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's very important that they realize that with that guidance,
Yeah.
it's a self
Yeah.
healing, right?
Yeah. And I try my best to be very different in terms of I don't have filters. I know a lot of people in the
It's a
community.
beautiful thing, though, in my opinion. I love it.
Yeah, I don't really care. Frankly, I'm trying to be as genuine as possible. I don't care about having filters. I don't need that in my life, and people don't need them. So if you come my way, I'll tell you the things that you need to change, but then it's up to you. And it's just up to you. Up to you. I get so many people coming my way. Oh, I have the money, so let's do it. But then, how convinced are you? You know, uh,
Right.
yeah. And others would be like, "Well, I don't really have the time." Mm, you see, so the thing here is, if you can't devote enough time for yourself,
Hmm.
so stuff like that, you get resistance each and every time. So I don't have filters. I don't have the time to do that. I don't. I really
And
don't
there's a
because
reason for that. As you know, there's no coincidences. It's
right.
something when it comes to you, it's something needs to somebody needs to know. It is what it is. I found that a lot as we've talked about in the last year.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. When I'm talking with somebody, just a little bit, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
it is, right?
And some others really something which is really tricky, and I think we need to raise awareness about something which
Oh
is
yeah.
really important here is if someone is really desperate for help, and if you feel that you don't have the tools to help this person, be frank.
Hmm.
I don't have the tools to be able to help you. Or I've seen that coming my way also. People would call me looking for a magic pill when you knew you need to deal with your shit right now. You're looking for a magic pill to erase your pain, for example, the hurt,
The
etc.
Band-Aid method.
Yeah, and I would tell these people as nicely as possible, right? You take your time, be gentle to yourself. You don't need this, you don't need that right now. So let's wait and see if you really need it afterwards.
So
You know.
you started talking about the beyond quantum healing and hypnotherapy. I mean, I do hypnotherapy, have for many years, but I don't do the other piece of that. So maybe talk a bit about the services. I know you've got the integration and shadow work, you've got the Safagio sound healing,
Solfeggio, yeah, yeah.
and then
It's
the special guided meditation, which we will get into as kind
yeah,
of leave that towards the end because I am going to briefly talk about the experience I had when we did that together. Was
right.
absolutely amazing, beautiful, and definitely shifting. No
Yeah, yeah.
doubt about it. So maybe tell us a little more about these services that you offer.
Well, yeah, sure. The beyond quantum healing is frankly it's just a fancy word. We just need to understand how scales work in terms of um, the universal laws. So it's all about scale. One of the laws would be as above, so below, right? So as above, so below is just telling you that everything out there would have like, some kind of replica down there. As simple as that, you know? So, meaning your eye, one eye can be something else in the macrocosm and the microcosm, but it's going to be the same thing. It's going to have the same geometry. Sacred geometry is in everything. So, again, Um, I was shown how Source started creation, and that was really really beautiful. So basically, it was in complete dark, not darkness, stillness,
Right.
and then it started with a thought, and the thought became light. No, the thought became sound, vibration, and then this became denser into light, matter, and us. So if we can use vibration now, it will be the right intermediate medium to change thoughts and the matter. Because not a lot of people can change their thoughts. They want to. It's a wishful thinking. Believe me, not everyone. We go back to the basics each and every time. We're still human beings here. So we have limitations. But the cool thing about vibration is we can use vibration to change these pathways, right? So this is exactly what I am trying to do with people because I did it on myself. It has been working so far. It's been good, and it's gentle too. So you don't have a lot of triggers and everything like that. When you become in alignment with who you are meant to be, you're supposed to go. There's no it's the least resistance, you know?
Right.
There's no resistance at all. It's all good. So I am trying to help people to find the least resistance pathway towards their alignment. And this is what I do. So BQH would be going inside yourself, right? And then you need to have the proper frequency in order to access your heart portal, your soul portal, your sacral portal. You have portal, the chakras, yeah, right? So these are portals. You need to use these portals to travel. This is why they tell you balance your chakras. Get your Merkaba working again. Why? Because you are a freaking portal yourself. You can travel right now. So just do it. You don't need a door, a physical door or you don't need a Stargate to travel. Come on, that's bullshit. You don't have that. You can travel by yourself. It's all about how to access within yourself these portals,
Right.
right? So this is what I do. I'm trying to help people reconnecting with themselves. And BQH is one of the tools. You get a lot of the tools too. Again, the guided meditation is very powerful because I can tap into your field and see where you are, and then I can guide you. It's very personalized. It's very specific. Each time it will be different. I have no clue what I'm going to talk to you prior to a session, for example. Same for BQH. I was not really attracted to how QHHT worked because it was like on paper, protocols. You just basically you had to read from a text. I didn't like that at all. So that's why I went to the BQH because it's heart centered and I had the flexibility to work with who I am. I am flexibility myself. So
Yeah.
I'll always use tools to make things go faster, let's say, because I'm flexible, you know?
Right.
It's going to be difficult to explain to you. I can textbook tell you what is
No, you don't
quantum
want to do that. I
healing,
mean,
what is the body code, and everything. But I am
no.
like Reiki, for example. You and I, we know. Can you tell people that you are doing Reiki right now? I have freaking no clue what we are doing. It's not Reiki, but we sure are playing with life force energy. Can you say this is Reiki? No, it's out of. It's not within textbooks. It's not even Reiki as that guy used to do it. It's not even that. We do. I wouldn't say much more, but we do things differently, and it's beautiful. You know, and yeah.
So, so going forward, so what about the solfeggio music healing that you do?
Again, why I came about that was after I got to see Source and he showed me how everything started off a thought. And then it was like vibrations. I could see the wavelengths, right? And then
Right.
he said to me at one point, why don't you use the wavelengths? I'm like, how? That's sound, man. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. And then it took me a couple of days to really understand and assimilate that, you know and yeah, I was always attracted to music, right? And
I relate.
right, and then I came across very specific frequencies that would induce responses within the body or any kind of structures composing of atoms. Well, guess what? Everything is composed of atoms. So I'm like, ah, it makes sense to use frequencies, specific frequencies, in order to induce stuff that we want. For example, if you want self love, um, you get several frequencies that might play, not just the 5 to 8 hertz, for example. You have so many things to detox yourself. 417 hertz does great things, but you get a lot of other things to play around. So that's why it's complicated to tell what I do because I use all these things in order to customize the type of healing that I'm proposing to people, which I do on myself too. I do it on
Yeah.
myself first. If it's working, well, wow, it's working, and then yeah, I'll try to help as many as possible. And you know me, right? I don't do this like for money, fame, and whatnot. It's all
Yeah,
about helping
I
people.
totally get it.
It's all about helping people. We need more people to help more people. So
Well,
let's
exactly,
start
and that's
reward.
why we're doing what we're doing right now.
Exactly.
So what about, okay? So let's talk a little bit about the specialized guided meditations that you do, and I could kind of share maybe one of the experiences that I had with you.
Yeah.
It was quite profound.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, I would start to talk with someone, and they would be sharing what's happening in their lives, right? And then progressively, I would be able to tap into their energetic field. But not only that, I would be able to tap into the trapped emotions or um, the energetic traps or chakras not working well. I would sense it, and I would see how these systems wouldn't be working fine. And I would, like they would be talking, and I would be having visions, flashes of images coming my way, and I would be like, okay, so let's do a meditation. You know, again, I have no clue what I'm going to say. No clue where I we would be going
Yeah, I do
whatsoever,
recall that.
right? But then I would, as soon as we would get starting, I would start to see things. So I would see you, for example, getting into a portal, and I would see what kind of portal, the color of the portal, and would see you walking. You still have your free will, so you need to take a leap of faith and walk your own way, because it's your healing at the end of the day, not mine. So I can guide you, right? But it is so much more powerful when you are doing it. So the client is driving the whole thing. I'm not. I'm not. So let's say for you, for example, you were feeling stuck here and there, and I could see some kind of golden flares and flashers, but then um, these energies were trying to emit from within, right? But somehow they were being trapped, so they couldn't being emitted outwards completely. So something was trapping your energy. There were walls, there were portals inside of yourself, smaller portals absorbing that shit. You know. So yeah, we need to reset all these things, right? And then you mentioned that you were feeling lost, etc., etc. So you get to see, I get to see where you were, you know. While talking to me, I got to see where you were, and then progressively um, there would like a portal would become visible, and I would tell you, okay, let's do a meditation right now, because you need to take that door, right? And that's how I guide people, so you were ready to take a leap of faith,
Oh yeah,
and you
most
were
definitely.
ready to trust yourself, not me. Don't care about me. You were ready to trust yourself. You were strong enough to trust yourself, and that's why you got an instant healing that day.
Yeah, it was actually interesting because we started in one room, standing there, um, doing the guided meditation and hand positions and whatever we were doing throughout that,
Hmm.
and moved in. It was funny. We ended up actually moving and walking
That's right.
while we were doing it,
Right.
and it was funny because we got to a point. And whatever you were saying, of course, I don't remember either. I went in deep, and I was in, and it was so interesting because at one point I could see these wings, these great big huge wings come out, and then I was flying, um, almost like you'd see when they show angels, and these wings come out, right?
Yep.
These great big white wings came out. Um, and then, of course, I was flying a bit. And then, as you were doing your guidance, I came up to, as I said to you, it's almost like when you look at, for the size of it, it was like looking at, um, when you can actually walk into a sewer tunnel, but it wasn't like a sewer tunnel, but that was the only way I knew how to explain it. And as I came to it, I pulled my wings in and went in and spiraled all the way down through that tunnel, which obviously was a portal. And I could see a couple of doors, but there was really only the one that was open with the light shining out of it. And I went into that, and it was amazing because throughout the course of that, um, the visualizations all the way through. I don't even remember everything because both of us, I think, just went in and it was just go. That was the main part that I did remember. And yeah, it was amazing because I did have shifts following that. And there were shifts that I needed, right? It
Exactly.
was like that
Yeah.
timeline shift that kind of put me into another place to move forward the way that I needed and wanted to do. So
That's
thank
right.
you. As I said to you
Right.
before, it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's all about frequency again. It's all about energy, So we need to be in the right mind, the right frame in order to be able to do things.
For it to work the way it needs to work.
Right. Yeah. 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 We can have all the best tools in the whole world. Um, yeah. But it's all about the person, you know? Are you ready to do it?
Well, and that's it. Are you in that place and ready to go? And because unfortunately, as we know, with the work that we do outside of the regular modalities, even the medicine work that we perform and provide, even with that, it's one of those things where, there are times when people are even, they look at it and they go, I really didn't see or feel what I thought I was going to. I mean, first and foremost, with any session, whether it be anything that you're doing
Mhm.
for yourself, first of all, have no expectations, which most people do. They expect,
It's
right?
human.
You
Yeah.
to realize that it doesn't matter how good or bad it is, they're going to be disappointed because that's not necessarily what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's one of those things where be open minded, go into anything, any type of service, modality, whatever it is you're going into, go in with your intention, no matter what it is, and just
Yeah.
go with it, right? Because the
Exactly.
blockages and whatnot that are there can inhibit us. And
Exactly.
until those blockages are removed, however that is,
Yeah. Well,
it keeps you
I,
stuck.
yeah, exactly. I remember when I was being taught how to access my Akashic records. So you have a prayer and the meditation and stuff like that, right? Um, and then my teacher said to me, "Okay, so can you see stuff? Are you being able to follow, etc., etc." I'm like, I get what you're saying, but I don't see that's not my pathway. And she said to me, "But you know what? I have been doing this for ages, and this is how we do it." And I'm like, I am sorry. I don't need to do it the same way. I don't feel I need to do it the same way as you do. And today I can tell you for sure I was freaking right to listen to my own intuition. So I don't access the Akashic records using a prayer, a closing prayer, and whatnot. I go to a castle. I don't even go to a library. It's so different. It's so different, So this is why I really wanted to create like a program to help people, but at the base we need to be flexible because we are all different. I needed to do that because I've always been considered as an outlier, really, and I was fed up, tired of trying to justify myself why I do things differently. You know,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. There's no need. But as soon as I started to, accept myself for who I am, it's so much better today. So yeah,
Yeah, it's always interesting the things that we do, we learn, we're guided to. And it never stops. It's new, as you said. It's something till the day we die. Obviously, it's going to continue because I'm still learning. I'm still having, new things open up and whatnot as well. So
exactly.
it continues, and of course, the majority of it is in order to help everybody else, right? To get That's why we're here in this time is
Yeah,
um, to do the best that we can to help others.
yeah,
Um, it doesn't even always mean on a spiritual path, but it just at the very least to help clear these energies out. Because as we've discussed, we won't get into detail, but it's one of those things where um, people don't realize that there are many out there that don't realize that the energies we carry that block us from many things in our life are the energies that need to be removed. We need to have them cleared out. It doesn't matter what your life path looks like, it still needs to be done.
exactly.
Some people are, well, that's you spiritual people. Well, no, that's everybody. You
That's
know,
everybody.
um, they just don't seem to understand this is something across the board for everyone.
Yeah, yeah,
So we'll keep doing what we do and
yeah.
doing the best we can with the larger percentage of those that we can work with. It's important, for people watching this. This is the whole idea of what we're doing with these discussions, is that people realize that there are new modalities out there you may never heard of, that you will really resonate with. Hi, Teal. You decided to stop hiding. Oh, for a moment.
I know.
Um, so yeah, it's something we will continue to do.
And one thing more to point out, really, we can be doing what we are doing right now, but the thing is, we still need to remain humble, right? Everything
Oh,
occurs in cycle.
definitely.
Everything occurs in cycle, and we undergo healing too each and every time.
Well,
Um,
and there's new learnings and teachings. I mean, with every,
always,
I often post things about, not all the time, but from my perspective of a session, because you often hear from the participants when you've worked with them, whether it be shamanically, however that looks, energetically, you usually hear the participant, their side of how things went and that type of thing. But it's
yeah,
not very often you actually hear what we're feeling after the fact, which sometimes isn't good either. We
yeah,
have to go through a healing process following that to bring
exactly,
ourselves back into alignment going forward. But no
exactly,
matter how that is, when that person leaves,
yeah,
the feeling you have when they leave, you got to deal with yourself at some point. But it's an aha moment in so many ways,
yeah,
right?
exactly,
Beautiful
exactly,
experiences.
yeah.
Um, so what we'll do with this as well, I think we're getting close to time here. It's 8:27. So we will post the links, your Facebook, your email, the website, and whatnot. All those links that we have. I'm going to put those up with the replay. It'll be up with the video.
Hmm.
And as we spoke before, I'll have that up. I'll let you know as soon as I do, and you can get it out and share out. That the whole idea is to get this out
Exactly.
in order for people to be aware of the different types of healings and modalities and services that may resonate more so than the things they already know, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, there was also, you spoke about, for those that are interested, there was the scanning. Maybe you can explain that you were willing to
Sure.
kind of to
Yeah.
gift people if they wanted to reach out to you.
Right. So basically, across your existence, right? You have baggages, right? So which we do carry into this
Right.
lifetime and in future lifetimes, right? So basically, sometimes when you have good and bad emotions, right? The good emotions would be coming as good karma. So prior to coming here, your soul would be like, okay, I'll be putting some stuff in my luggage, and this will be my survival tool. Most of the survival tools would be good stuff that you have accumulated throughout your existence. But you do come also with what we qualify as bad karma. It's not really bad karma. It's not really bad energies. These things are here to teach you stuff. So while you understand this as negative emotions and whatnot, that could affect, unfortunately, your organs, they are here to teach you stuff. So, having said that, it's always good to acknowledge that you have these feelings. If you don't understand why these feelings are what they are, it's a chance for you to understand, but not with a link. It's not like there's no, for example, how can I explain that? Um, it's here to teach you the art of detachment. There you go. So you have good things and you have bad things, but they are here to teach you stuff. You know, there you
Yeah,
go. So you do understand that. Let's say, for example, I don't know, resentment from something.
right.
In a past life, it's still in my organ. For example, in the liver, for example. Yeah. So let's do the liver or the spleen. So if it's trapped there, it will keep on bugging me, ultimately ultimately affecting my health. But it's a cry from your soul that you need to deal with it. Sometimes it's too late, but now we do have skills and we do have the tools to be able to scan the body in order to understand what kind of trapped emotions you have linked to the organs. And what I'm doing is I'm offering a 10 to 15 minutes session to people, and we would be able to explore what are the feelings that are trapped right now, including past lives and in this lifetime for sure. If let's say we had a hard childhood, for example, um, we will still be able to scan the body in order to understand um, what is trapped in there and how to unlock it, and then to not to disintegrate it, not to slash the demon. You know what I mean? No, to accept who you are with love, with unconditional love, and detach yourself. Make peace with yourself. And yeah, so I'm proposing to people a 10-15 minutes scanning whereby we would be able to know what trapped emotions are in the body, including the heart, right? So you're on mute. You are on mute.
I was trying to prevent while you were talking from Pearl and Teal talking.
Oh gosh, yeah, yeah.
So I fear we'll have one bird, not both, or they won't. Nobody's going to hear anything but the birds. Sorry about that. So going forward, well, what I'll do is I'll touch base with you after, and we'll do just a quick, a little something just to put with the video, and of course, all your information is going to be included. And like Samantha said, she will make sure it's included when the replay is emailed out to everyone. The links and whatnot will also be there. So I will probably, knowing me, I'll work on it tonight. I'm not that person that's, I'm a
Oh, you take your
Capricorn.
time, man.
I'm a
You
Capricorn. There's no such thing as rest. It's all work. But this was fabulous, hun. I'm so glad we got to do this. There will be more upcoming um, going forward. I'm actually booked up with people until end of May. So yeah, we're really moving along here. Really, want to get this information out to people.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff you do is quite unique. Not even the stuff that you learned, the stuff, of course, that comes to you, um,
Mm-hmm.
and how you help people with that kind of channeling connection that you have. It's going to be yeah, Samantha, ha ha ha, Capricorn vibes. Oh yeah, I got lots of those, honey. Let me tell you. Yeah, yeah. Um, but so yeah, thank you. Looking forward to everybody that's seen them. Beth, thank you so much for coming out. I know we lost you for a short time there, but I see that you're back. That's awesome. And of course, reach out to Hans. He is offering that scanning technique that he has, which will be beautiful. Yeah, Sam, we are. We're booking up crazy. I've got quite a few on the go until May. I know the summer we may take a short hiatus because we're going to be doing retreats and other things. So, depending on how they fall, or at least change the dates, may have to happen as we go forward with more.
Right.
But yes, thank you, my brother. I'm so glad that you came and we did this together. Um, and again, anybody that has any questions about the work that he does, I'm sure somewhat about who he is. No, maybe not too personal, but somewhat about who he is. Definitely reach out. Hans is a pretty easygoing guy, as he said. He's a straight shooter. There is no hidden anything. He speaks what he feels, what he gets, what's going on in his mind. He's on the table with it. So. And he's a wonderful guy. So definitely, if any of these modalities, please do reach out to him. You won't be sorry. As I said, I've even done some stuff with him, and we quite often help each other with guidance. So I can vouch for it. I've done a lot of work with him and together. So thank you all for being here, or at the very least, being able to see the replay. Yeah, and you can watch it over and over again. Please share it if you feel it resonates with you and anybody else that may be able to utilize some of the services and modalities that Hans has. Please definitely reach out and share this out to others so that we can help other people as well. Any last words, Lance?
I wish everyone happy healing. Really.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Most definitely. So after that, we will say good night. Samantha, you enjoy your time in Mexico. Hopefully, we'll see you back by the spring, anyways. But we'll see how that goes. We miss you. I miss you, and we'll talk. We'll talk as we do off and on. And Hans, I will talk to you in a little while. And everybody have a fabulous night or a day, depending on when you're watching this. We'll see everybody soon.
Take care.